Welcome and good day to everyone. This is International Association for Quality Education STEAM Level 3 presentation. Today, we will be presenting based on Part 1, Module 3, Lecture 6. Let me introduce myself. My name is Fatima Humeida Nazreen, teacher at Sweet Kids Nursery, and I am happy to present today's session with my fellow teacher. I kindly invite her to introduce herself.
Thank you, teacher. I'm Nazmeen here. I'm the founder of YN Academy. I hold a bachelor's degree in early childhood education along with several specialized diplomas and certification. In addition to my work, I'm a certified LDP teacher at Spinnaker School of English, accredited by the British Council UK, and also I serve as an elocution and spoken English instructor at Acumen International. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher. Before we move forward, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks to Mr. Janaka Kamalgoda, Project Director of International Project for Capacity Development for ECCD Centers. And also, we would like to thank Mrs. Padmaja YV, Academic Lecturer for Module 3. So, our today's topic is Nurturing Tiny Minds for a Sustainable Future. This topic connects early childhood education with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. As teachers, we play a vital role in shaping responsible, caring, and environmentally aware future citizens. Let's explore how small lesson today can create big change tomorrow. Before we dive into the topic, let's see what sustainable goals are about. The Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, were introduced by the United Nations in 2015. These 17 goals are a global action plan to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure peace and prosperity for all. What's inspiring is that 193 countries, including our country Sri Lanka, have committed to work together and achieve these goals by 2030. Each goal focuses on something important like clean water, good health, education, gender equality, and climate action. Together, they help to build a better world for both us and our future generations. Now let's see the 17 Sustainable Development Goals known as SDGs and understand what each one means. SDG 1, no poverty. SDG 2, zero hunger. SDG 3, good health and well-being. SDG 4, quality education. SDG 5, gender equality. SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. SDG 8 is decent work and economic growth. SDG 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. SDG 10, reduced inequalities. SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. SDG 12 is responsible consumption and production. SDG 13, climate action. SDG 14, life below water. SDG 15, life on land. SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. And finally, SDG 17 is partnership for the goals. All these goals help us to take care of people, the planet, and our future. Now let's see how we integrate these SDGs into the theme fruits and vegetables. Helping and sharing and caring. This comes under SDG 1, no poverty. This is about teaching children to share and care by growing some fruits and vegetables and sharing them with others Children learn kindness and understand how small acts can help people in need. As an activity, we can have a plant and share corner in our nursery garden, like children grow a small plant in a cup and gift it to a friend or family. Focus is growing fruits and vegetables and the value of sharing. Growing together our food and farmers. This comes under SDG 2 Zero Hunger. Here, children learn how farmers helps to feed the world. A small role play as farmers help children to respect the food and understand the value of hard work in growing it. As an activity, we can have a role play as farmers, like children pretend to sow seeds and harvest, acting out the steps of farming in the garden. Focus is recognizing farmers' efforts in growing food. Healthy Me, Healthy World. This comes under SDG 3, Good Health and Well-being. This is about eating fresh fruits and veggies. A simple activity like fruit tasting or healthy food talk helps children to build good habits for a healthy life. We can have a fruit tasting table in the classroom, like children tasting seasonal fruits and talking about their favorite fruit and its color or taste. Focus is eating seasonal and fresh fruits for better health. Bright minds, bright futures. This comes under SDG 4 quality education. Quality education begins with awareness. By introducing fruits and vegetables through stories or game, children develop knowledge in a fun and meaningful way. We can have a fruit basket activity, like showing a basket of fruits and asking children to name each fruit and describe its color or taste. Focus is awareness of fruits and vegetables. Equal for all, celebrating differences. This comes under SDG 5, Gender Equality. We teach children that everyone is different but equally important. Just like bananas, cherries, and mangoes that has different sizes, shapes, and taste, but all loved. We can have a fruit and vegetable sorting as an activity, like letting children to sort fruits and vegetables by its color, size, or type. And let them talk about how differences can make things interesting. Focus is children learn that each fruit or vegetable has its own specialty. Splashing into clean water fun. This comes under SDG 6, Clean Water and Sanitation. Just like we need clean water to stay healthy, plants also need clean water to grow. And teaching children how to use water carefully without wasting it. We can have an experiment like placing two identical plants in the classroom, watering one with the clean water and other one with the muddy or unclean water. After a few days, we can let children to observe and compare the plant's appearance. Focus is children learn that clean water helps plants to grow, while dirty water affects growth. Sunny days, energy from the sun. This comes under SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. The sun gives energy to plants to grow. Today, farmers also use solar energy to water their crops. It is clean, free, and powerful. We can have an experiment like placing two plants in sunlight and shade and let children observe which one grows better. Focus is children learn sunlight helps plant grow, solar power helps farmers. Big dreams, little hands, learning about jobs and fairness. This comes under SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. The fruits and vegetables comes from farms to our market. Farmers grow them and vendors sell them. So every job is important and everyone deserves fairness and respect. So the activity is, we can have a market role play, like setting up a mini fruit market in the classroom where some children act as farmers or vendors and others as buyers. To make children understand this concept better, we can have more activity like role plays, storytelling, etc. And focus is children learn about community helpers like farmers and vendors. Over to you, Najmin teacher.
Thank you, teacher. Hi, everyone, once again. As we all are seeing, a little bit of reminder on what we are focusing on today. It's on best practices in nurturing sustainability awareness among young children. Using everyday theme of fruits and vegetables, we are going to see. Okay, why fruits and vegetables? Because they are familiar, accessible, and carry rich learning opportunities across science, maths, art, and even global awareness. Each slide connects to a specific UN Sustainable Development Goal, helping us link classroom activities to real world impact even for our little learners. That was a small warm up. Okay. Now, our next goal is SDG 9, Industry, Innovation, and Infrastructure. This module focuses on creativity and innovation. We can start by introducing different fruits and their shapes, colors, textures, and tastes. We can let children explore through touch, taste, and sorting activities. This develops early classification and sensory skills. Now, after that, we can shift to innovation. So how can we grow these fruits and vegetables even in limited space? We can introduce the concept of terrace gardening. We can use recycled containers or vertical planters or even bottle gardens. Through this, children see that innovation doesn't always mean big machines. It's about smart ideas and solving problems creatively. This fosters early design thinking and spatial awareness. Okay, we'll move on to the next goal. Next slide, please. SDG 10, reduced inequality. Okay, what is this? Children begin to understand the world when we show them the diversity around us. We can bring in fruits from various cultures. For example, like bananas from Asia, dates from the Middle East, avocados from Mexico. This is a simple, joyful way to introduce the global awareness. Next, we can explore seed dispersal. We can ask, how do fruits travel in nature? For this, we can use storytelling, like a mango seed floating down a river or a bird dripping a fig seed. We can reinforce that diversity in nature mirrors human diversity. And every seed, like every child, has its own journey. We'll move on to the next goal, SDG 11. It's sustainable cities and communities. We can introduce this idea of cities like a growing own food. Children often think that farmers are far away, but urban gardening shows that food can be grown right on your balcony or in community parks. We can use real examples or short videos for this. Children can participate like by planting seeds in containers or painting garden signs. We can arrange group gardening teachers like collaborating, responsibility, and empathy. It also introduces concepts of food security and sustainability in a way they can grasp all these things. Okay, the next slide is on SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. We can begin by asking children what happens to the food we don't eat. Then we can introduce the idea of food waste and where it goes. We can show how leftover peels can become compost. Even small children can collect scraps in a compost jar. So we can emphasize eating locally grown produce, like you could do a local versus imported fruit comparison. Okay, we can highlight how choosing local supports farmers, like reduces carbon footprint and builds community health. This builds early eco consciousness and respect for food. And our next goal is SDG 13. Okay, it's about climate action. Climate may seem like a big topic, but it can be made tangible. Okay, we can show pictures of how some fruits grow only in specific weather, like strawberries in cold climates, coconut in tropics, and we can ask what happens if it's too hot or there's no rain. Okay, this leads into conversations about climate change. We can introduce like simple ideas like less rain, fewer fruits. We can help them connect the dots. We can use charts or matching games like showing fruits with seasons. This builds early understanding of environmental impact. Okay, the next slide is on SDG 14, the life below the earth. Okay, we can introduce marine vegetables like seaweed and kelp. These are often unfamiliar but fascinating to children. We can explain how they grow underwater and are food for sea animals and people too. You can use sensory bins with blue water, toy creatures, and strips of seaweed to make it playful. We can also talk about the importance of clean oceans and how pollution can affect what grows underwater. Okay, this plants early seed of marine conservations. Okay, the next goal is SDG 15, life on land. Yeah, that is it. So we can show children how insects and animals help us. Like worms make the soil rich, bees help flowers grow into fruits by pollination, and the ladybugs eat pests. These can be turned into puppet shows or storytelling. We can teach children that we don't grow fruits alone. Nature too helps us, right? Respecting animals, insects, and even tiny microbes is a part of a healthy food system. Let them role play as gardeners who protects nature. Let's move on to the next goal, SDG 16. It's about peace, justice, and strong institutions. Okay, we can set up a pretend market for this. One group children as farmers, the others as buyers. Let them talk, count, and trade. Now we can introduce the concept of fairness. Was the buyer kind? Did they pay enough? These are like early moral lessons about justice and equity. Children begin to understand the value of fairness, truth, and respect in daily life. It's not about money, right? It's about integrity in relationships. Our next goal is SDG 17. Yeah, it's partnership for the goals. So, if we look at this goal, we can introduce by who helps us get fruits to our table, right? We can use a storytelling chain. We can from the farmer to the packer, transporter, vendor, and finally the family. We can draw this as a food journey chart. Then we can talk about how these people must work together. If one link breaks, what happens? We all suffer. So, this is a beautiful way to show that teamwork is not just for games, it's how the world works. Children learn about gratitude, partnership, and system thinking. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. So, water for life, the role of clean water. Here we are seeing what is life, especially for plants, like what is water, especially for plants. We can teach children how watering helps seeds grow, let them water their own plants and observe the changes. Then we can introduce the idea of clean water. What happens if the water is polluted? Then you can also do a fun experiment where one plant gets clean water and another gets a colored or a salty water. Over time, they'll see the difference, right? This connects health, hygiene, and the environment in one hands-on lessons. And the next, this is what is that? Helpers, right? Farmers and vendors. We can the community helpers. We can use this one. We can use real life stories or short videos of farmers working in fields and vendors, like selling fruits. We can talk about their roles, challenges, and dedication. We can encourage children to think, how does this food reach our home? Right? Children can make thank you cards for farmers or pretend to sell fruits in classroom market. This fosters appreciation, empathy, and a sense of community responsibility. Right? Next slide, please. And here we are seeing what? Shape, color, and taste. Here's where art and science meet. Let children explore the different fruits, draw them, sort them by shape or size, and let them taste them, right? You can make fruit charts or class surveys like what's your favorite fruit or graph the results. Okay? So these activities build observation, vocabulary, comparison, and artistic expression in all foundational STEAM skills wrapped in joy, right? And the next one is we can introduce the seeds on a journey dispersal, right? Introduce the seed dispersal as a magical journey. Wind, animals, and water all help, right? We can use a storytelling, a squirrel carrying a nut, a coconut floating across a river, as I explained you before, right? Then let children grow something from seed. This is the most powerful STEAM activity in it teaches patience, life cycles and cares, and cause effect relationships, and it fills them with wow, like right, joy, right? And as we come to the end of the presentation, uh, as educators, we are not just teaching science or literacy, right? We are shaping future change makers. Through these simple, joyful experiences and around fruits and vegetables, we can connect children to global goals like critical thinking and ethical living. Okay, we can remember like STEAM in early years isn't about complexity, right? It's about meaningful simplicity. Let's nurture tiny minds today so they can build a sustainable tomorrow, right? Thank you for your attention. Thank you, everyone.